welcome to Stitch with me. Today we're going to be working on a Christmas project. This one happens to be one of the not so ugly Christmas sweaters. The patterns work for either the little ornaments or for the quilt block. Let's go ahead and get started. I've never paid attention. Oh, what are we doing? Dang it. All right. That's the whole point, is so that you can see what I'm doing. Instead, you got to watch my face for the whole thing. Okay, so we have backstitched around the edges on here. We added 3 French knots, and we added them at 4 o'clock, at 12:30, and at 3 o'clock. 12:30 to 1 o'clock right here, and at 3 o'clock. And now we are doing a blanket stitch or buttonhole stitch for our ribbing. We want these little ribbing lines to be a little bit more, but almost a thread width apart. Or, yeah, kind of close to a thread width apart. Do you ever have something that you don't really want to do? I mean, besides the housework. Oh, our son plays lacrosse. He's fun to watch. I like to watch his games. But 6 weeks ago or so, maybe 8, I can't remember for sure, he suffered a shoulder separation. That means it's like a sprained ankle for your shoulder. It tore a little bit of his labrum, so it kind of made his arm socket pop out of joint and a little tear so it could, and now it's been healing since then and coming back. And this this tournament this weekend is the first time he's been cleared to play anything. So he's been practicing with the team, but very limited because he has not been allowed to do anything that's contact. And boys lacrosse, if nothing else, is a lot of contact. So I'm not sure how much he'll get to play. If he gets to play a lot or even a little, then great. I would love to go watch him play. Would I love to go spend 3 days not at home, not with my recording studio, not with anything, for him to not get to play and mostly get to watch? Yeah, not so much. But I was planning on splitting it with my husband. I was going to go to half and he was going to go to half, kind of until we found out how much he played. And then he said, "But Mom, I would really like you to be there." Oh, in walks the guilt. And now I'm spending my next 3 days at a lacrosse tournament. I've taken stitching stuff to lacrosse and to football and to all the sports that he does. I'm not very good at stitching during a game. I can a little bit when he's not playing sometimes, but even then I usually watch the game. So this will be different. I know lots of parents are used to, like, tournament weekend is a thing, but this is our first tournament weekend. You know, where'd I, oh, here it is. Ever. Football doesn't do tournament weekends. They do for like 7-on-7, but Jake plays the line, so he's not in the 7-on-7 tournament games. This is the first time we've done more than high school lacrosse to be in a club team for this. So this is a new experience for us, and it looks like, from what I can see, that, like, I'm used to watching him play in a high school stadium, so we've got nice seats and, you know, everything. And I think this time, because there's enough teams coming, that it'll just be wherever they mark out on the grass will be the field. And so we're taking chairs and an umbrella in case it gets too hot. Fortunately, or not, depends on kind of if you're a morning person or not. His games are in the mornings. They should be over by noon each of the first 2 days, and then the third day is the tournament. Depending on how they do in the first 2 days, that gives them a rank for the playoff games on the third day. So I don't know what time those will be yet, and those might end up actually being in the high school stadium. I don't know. So I'm going, hopefully I can see. That's another, I don't know, pet peeve of mine. I'm a short person, so when they do way back when he played soccer or anything else where you had to watch from the sidelines, I most of the time can't see over the team if I'm in the middle, and then if I'm not right in the front, I can't see over the people in front of me anyway. So I'm one of those people who sits in the front of wherever we go so that I can see things. It's not that I can't like look through people's heads and see things. It's that I get easily distracted when there's so many other things going on too. I am relieved a little bit because he has had me doing videos. We're doing some video coverage of what he does in the games, and most of his games are recorded and then broadcast so that you can watch them later. And I've been going through those recordings, and I make a little highlight reel for him each time. I can zoom in and just clip the little parts of him. So it's not that great a video because the whole video quality is not that great, but it is a little clip of him scoring goals and taking out people and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm excited this time because I figured that he would want me to video the whole thing, and I don't mind watching a game. I mean, I enjoy watching a game, but not through the little lens of the back of my phone in the bright light where I can barely see anything. So that's another thing I'm looking forward to about this, is that they record the games and we can just purchase the recordings so that we have them. So again, if you tell me if he was going to play or not, if he's not going to play, then I wouldn't. I don't know that we will purchase it ahead of time anyway. There's a discount for buying it early, but I think we're going to want to know that he's actually playing first. The purpose of them recording it is so that you have recruiting video, or video for recruiters for applications and such. Do I think that he will pursue that? I don't know. But if that's how if recruiters don't actually come watch you, they just watch the videos you send them, then we need to make sure we have video. So we'll see how that goes. Wow, that turned out nicely with the right amount of thread left to tie off a knot. It could have been a little closer, but that's perfect. Now we'll put a little bit more on. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and get a full needle again. For the little guys, I did my leaves with this one because I wanted the leaves to change color. But I don't know if I would, let me look and see, if I would love it to have a different color down here on the ribbing than it does around I guess we'll try it and see. Let's do the last ribbing. We're doing on time. We should be finishing up pretty quick here. So maybe I'll tell you while I'm working on this what the rest of the steps are to this one. We're going to draw a little bow. In fact, we could draw the bow now so that I can show you that. We'll pick the spot right in the middle, and that's where the knot of the bow will go. Let's see. Because I have fleece underneath as my tablecloth here, it's a little bit hard because when I go to mark, it goes all the way through the fleece and I don't get any marks. The reason I use the fleece is because it's not a reflective surface, so it does really well as being a background. Okay, let's draw our bow. I want this to be rounded but a little bit like a cone. So let's do our cone and then round the back side of it. And then we're going to come down for this one, and we're going to do a curly Q. And then this side, we won't quite go down as far, and do a curly Q on it too. Now I'm going to wish it was down a little further than that, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of brush that up and bring it down just a little bit further. There we go. That's why we draw it ahead. Okay, so that's where our bow will go, and I'll use a size 8 on that and a stem stitch. A size 8, and right here I'll just go ahead and do a satin stitch to make the little bow center. And then the leaves are just detached chain stitches, different directions, always different directions. They can stick out a little bit past the end, not a lot, but just change up the direction. And you can see that sometimes when it came to a color, I'd do 2 next to each other, and sometimes I'd bounce them back and forth across the wreath so that the colors all kind of got mixed together. So that is what we lack on this one. But we will go ahead and do our last cuff on this one, if we can get that done before we run out of time. Okay. So when it comes time to do the cuffs on the ornaments, I do those most of the time. Most generally, I do the cuffs on the ornaments together, the 2 pieces together, because it turns out that the blanket stitch, what you see on the back side here, is the other half of the blanket stitch. So when you do it on both sides, you will get just your row down the middle. So you have the option of doing a blanket stitch on each little piece like this, and then lashing them together, or you can just do one blanket stitch across here. Again, if you purchase those, the patterns have the link in it to all of those videos in that library. Also, this particular sweater is probably, I thought that the wreath would not quite be enough on it, and it's okay, but I'm going to go ahead and add some cute little white and green decorative stripes and lines on it as well. It's important to keep these as straight as you can because you don't want there to be a funny angle at the end. Almost ended up with a funny angle on this one. Remember that last one will go off the edge. I have tried, and you could see that if you looked at all of them, sometimes to put it on the edge and tack it down, and it usually ends up falling off the edge anyway. Now see, doesn't that ribbing look fantastic? Let's tie it off and turn it over. Let's move this guy. He messes with our color. So the reason I do a gray background is because most cameras are kind of pre-programmed to expect that the overall color that they see is 18% gray. So it's gray. So you will get better color and less color shift if you take your pictures on a gray background. So there is our little wreath ornament. Wreath sweater, our not so ugly Christmas sweater, partway through. Okay, thank you for joining me. We'll see you next time.